Watching this quiet.
All right, everybody ready?
Alright, today I'm doing a topic on the 54th Massachusetts Infantry out of Boston, Massachusetts. Next week, July 18th, will be the 150th anniversary of this infantry, which is basically known as the 54th. 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry was the first military unit consisting of black soldiers to be raised in the North during the Civil War. Most famously known for storming Fort Wagner in South Carolina. Prior to 1863, no concerted effort was made to recruit black troops as Union soldiers. The passage of the proclamation in January 1863 provided this impetus. For the use of free black men as soldiers, and at the time when state government were responsible, for the raising of regiments for the federal government, Massachusetts was the first state to respond with the formation of the 54th Regiment. The regiment basically did their training at Fort Meigs or Fort Riggs in Ridgeville, Massachusetts, outside of Boston. They had much support from the African Americans there, as well as some of the white people there. Most knownly, famous person to actually give them recognition was a poet named Ralph Emerson. As it became evidence that many more recruits were coming forward than were needed for this, the Surgeon General basically described the 54th as a rigid and thorough, but, robots, I should say, well, I'm not going to say that word, but strong, one of the strongest infantries that the U.S. military have ever seen. Before they could take Charleston, South Carolina, they first had to take Fort Wagner, which is also on the outskirts of Charleston. They gained recognition on July 18th, 1863, when it spearheaded an assault on Fort Wagner near Charleston. Out of the 600 men that actually fought on the war, 272 were either killed, wounded, or taken prisoner of war. The total was the highest of the 54th in a single engagement during the war. The 54th were widely acclaimed for its value during the battle, which helped encourage further enlistments and mobilization of African American troops. A key development that helped to secure the final victory. Even though they didn't take it, it did help for the fellow Union soldiers that came after them, to help them take over Fort Wagner. Decades later, a sergeant named William Carney was given the Medal of Honor in his value of fighting during that war. As it was a story in it basically on how he was given the award. As the flag was falling to the ground, he actually picked it up. And what he had chanted out, I guess, inspired other soldiers to move forward. And what the words he said was, "Boys, the old flag nearly touched the ground," but it didn't. Carney was the earliest action for which the Medal of Honor was awarded to an African American. You can basically say he was one of the first to actually receive that highest medal. More than a century, the 54th remains the most famous black regiment of the war due to the movie Glory. I'm sure everybody seen Glory, which is also up for a couple of Oscars. Even though it's been 150 years till today, we have seen much progress with respect to the integration of the society. We have seen much progression with respect to what our people, or should I say African American people, can now do in this country, but also showing to us how far we have come, and also reminded us that the struggle has to continue, or basically has continued for a while longer, until we are the more perfect union, and the most perfect union that our founding fathers have intended to do. And that is my presentation.